McGuigan was recently diagnosed with terminal cancer. His days are limited, and that's why he wants to tell as many people as he can about his son and his two friends who were murdered when a sports bet went terribly wrong.
June 2003 in Wisconsin.
3 males died of gunshot wounds.
28-year-old Jason McGuigan and his two friends found shot to death in their home.
It blew me away. I couldn't believe it. That gambling over a bet, that you kill people.
A bet worth around $17,000 that Jason never called in.
Jason didn't have the cash on him, shot and killed him.
Robert's son Jason taught his alleged murderer Meng Ju Wu how to gamble.
The young man had over $75,000 in his checking account prior to meeting my son. When he met my son, my understanding is that had dwindled down to around 20-some thousand.
Jason, on the other hand, had been gambling most of his life.
I have an addicted personality. My brother had an addicted personality. So did my son. And yet these signs were there, but they did not mean anything to me.
He's trying to identify an addiction you can't see, touch, smell, or taste.
Sports gambling is the enticement which brings young people who like sports into the gambling venue.
University of Illinois professor John Kint studies sports gambling.
It's not fun and games.
He knows Robert's story, but he also knows others.
We've had instances of students in Iowa and elsewhere losing their tuition money, living in their cars.
Hooked on gambling, and the problem only getting worse.
We're seeing studies that show the number of students and young people who are getting hooked steadily increasing.
Kint says young people show double the addiction rate and problematic gambling rate of the older generation.
Young people in particular don't realize the dangers of this. They're educated about drugs, they're educated about smoking, they're educated about drinking, but there's no educational program going on about gambling.
For 7 years, Robert has visited schools to raise awareness about the dangers of sports gambling. But then something Robert couldn't bet on, his recent cancer diagnosis.
My time is becoming even shorter.
His message now urgent.
Gambling is an addiction, and gambling can kill.
A message he hopes will spread.
Robert has been working on a video that will be posted online so he can try to get his message out to as many people as possible. As for his son's case, his alleged killer hanged himself just before the trial. I'm Elise Menaker for WAND News.